have data, if not everybody, procurement data, supplier lists, contracts like sitting across the whole organization. And the problem isn't access, it's that no one ever has time or capacity to actually look at the data and interrogate it properly. So what happens in practice across these sort of organizations and companies is like huge savings get missed, and risks, contractual compliance risks that are sitting in those contracts, in those agreements, are sitting there, and decisions get made and procured on partial visibility and data. And right now there are, there's savings sitting in your data that you won't be seeing because you don't have time, and no one has the time to find them. So in most organizations we work with, what we run is like, when we run this properly, we don't struggle to find things. We're not like, oh, hopefully we're going to find things. We usually find multiple things, and we're going to show you today in this live, which means the bigger risk isn't whether it works, it's actually where is it sitting in your data. So we're going to be showing you, doing a live demo today of how you can use AI in your procurement data. My name is Laura Chattington. I partner with companies to embed AI into their work streams so they can unlock profit, save time, and add more value, and fully leverage AI to scale without sacrificing their sanity. And I'm here with Tara Lee, who has 20 years in health, social care, and the third sector, with deep experience of commissioning, delivery, and change, and has a background of commissioning over £500 million worth of commissions. And together we help organizations embed AI into their organizational rhythm using the tools that they already have. So hello and welcome. Now,
thanks, Laura.
Go for it.
So what we're going to look at today, isn't it, Laura, is this is not about a new system. This is about taking the readily available organizational data that organizations have, and finding those opportunities for people within that. So the demo today is going to focus on a retrospective analysis. So this is something we can run in pretty much any organization that has an external supply chain. So it's a retrospective look at the opportunities that are in that supply chain based on your own data.
Yeah.
So the sorts of things we will look to pull out are inconsistencies, as Laura says, in terms of either the way or how we're commissioning our external supply chain, duplicate suppliers, risks, and also quite critically those pounds. And I guess for me, having my background is commissioning of services, this is not stuff that we generally have time to do, if we're being completely honest. So this is going to be a super fast demo about how we can identify opportunity while saving time, but also securing some much needed extra pounds. So Laura, let's go. Let's show people live.
Yeah. And you're right. It's about, people just don't have time to do this, do they, at all? No. And let me just share. There we go. Right. Tell me you can see that.
I can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent. So so this is a demonstration of AI and how it's using data that's sitting in the organization, looking at the procurement intelligence over the last 12 months quarter, and it's reading the data, building like prioritized issues and opportunities sitting in that data for savings, for risk. Obviously it's going to do it in seconds rather than taking you a whole week to do this. It's using intelligence to weigh trade-offs. It's making recommendations and resilience, and it's also like talking in human language too, which is helpful. And I just want to point out the difference between using a spreadsheet, which, you've got that data and you can use pivot tables and you can use like filtering and all of that stuff, and it's looking for flags and things like this. But actually what the AI does with your data is it creates the narrative, it's reasoning, it's looking at the whole data set and using its intelligence so that it can highlight where those savings and risks are. So I'm going to say, or, you can do it. Well, let's do spend across all the different spending streams and a 12 months horizon. And let's just.
And the example we're generating here, Laura, is a healthcare organisation, isn't it? And a dummy data set for a healthcare organisation in terms of potential opportunities, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So it's running through that data set and ba-bam, and there we go. So it's actually, if you think about the time it takes humans to do this, it's running through the data. It's looking at the last 12 months of, like in this case, £986,750. And it's highlighting that there's 60 to 90K in that 12-month period that it can identify as potential savings. It's identified 4 risks, and it's like it's estimated a 26. So if we were to try and do this ourselves
manually,
it would take us, every time we ran it, it would take us 27 to 40 hours. So it prioritizes the issues. It's saying that there's exposure to a significant supplier. There is and dependencies of that risk. There's duplicate sourcing. So in lots of cases, people are sourcing from the same company, but they're not joining up those those negotiations, right, Taralee?
Absolutely. So this is sort of the spend across a period of 12 months, say, and it might be, particularly in healthcare organizations, we could be ordering medical consumables as an example, wound care supplies, equipment, all of that sort of stuff. But we're doing it across teams. We're doing it on a monthly, weekly, fortnightly basis. And we're not necessarily, apart from seeing a purchase ledger total spend on an invoice, not necessarily able to have that analysis in terms of our existing systems and processes that tells us, okay, here might be the opportunities in terms of volume, cost, etc. So that's exactly what this is doing, isn't it, Laura?
Yeah, and it's not that we can't do this ourselves. We could. The data is there, right? But actually, you've just seen how quickly it can run. Is that it's looking for those opportunities for savings, looking where you can negotiate, and also looking at the risks. So this is outlining here what to do, what the recommendations are, and even some of the lists, critical point of failures, high concentration risk, and you can add, design the intelligence for exactly what is relevant for your organization. And it kind of gives you recommendations, and it talks about the trade-offs, because sometimes, it might be you want to purchase in bigger quantities, but you might not have the storage space and all of that stuff, right?
That's really real for a lot of our organizations.
Yeah, and then sort of board recommendations, and this can all be obviously configured and ran for different subsets, different contracts, spend, all of those kind of things, and then it gives you the intelligence that you need so that you can literally go in and look at your procurement, your partners, how you procure, and actually negotiate the contracts that you need to negotiate, look at the contracts that there is risk around, and not and just do it. You can do it, like if you run that report every month, even, you're probably not even doing you might be doing it badly once a year because no one's got the time, but you could be running that regularly and making sure that you've got everything under control, right?
And so reducing manual requirements,
not
a new system, but using readily available AI to build you a report like this. So reducing the manual load on staff and teams, identifying risks super early in terms of supply chain to enable organizations to be informed about managing those, and potential to save pounds, no?
Yeah, and I think that the potential, and I know everybody, certainly in this sector, is like having to find efficiencies, right?
Absolutely,
These efficiencies are sitting in the data, and it doesn't require sort of savings in places where you might not need to make them. So I guess it's like, how confident are you that nothing like that exists in your data today? I think I'd bet my right arm that everybody has tens, if not hundreds of thousands of savings in how they buy. And the real question is, how much is currently sitting there that no one has the time to look at? So the next step, I mean, that's been a really quick look. So the next step is like, it's taking, your data, looking at your contracts, and we'd invite you to connect with us. And actually, if you write connect underneath this live, we can get in touch with you. But actually taking 20 minutes to look at the data and running through a process so that we can identify how this can apply to your organizations. So next, and that's it. So next week we're demoing. I don't think I said that. We're demoing live how to see the risks in the contracts and using AI to give you the comfort at night. And I think this is a big human factor, having the comfort at night that everything is handled
in place,
in those place and is handled. So